Today I'd like to examine uh, the John F. Kennedy inaugural speech. Uh, Purpose of today is to examine the essentials of the occasions paving the way of the Kennedy's Kennedy's inauguration. Uh, at the point breakdown of the inauguration location from 3 points of view of a youthful society of liberals. We'd like to look at extremists, a Soviet representative, and the Cuban outcast. Uh, Also, at the point of assets and the discourse from one of these points of views. The topic of today would be Kennedy's inaugural speech of 1961. Kennedy's inaugural address, which provides a chronology of the Cold War, the civil rights events, which occurred in 1959 to July 20th, 1961. This was a very historic, significant event that occurred for the nation. Uh, a little bit, I'm going to, a little introduction. John F. Kennedy's inauguration uh, t- tended to to the American individuals as well as other individuals throughout the world, including uh, recently free countries, old partners, and the Soviet Union. In my disclosure, individuals are tested to consider how the disclosure of many are impacted of these crowds. A little bit of background on this. Uh, on January 1961, John F. Kennedy uh, became the 35th president. He did that on the backdrop of snow and sunshine. It was 20 degrees outside the Capitol. His audience was reached far uh, beyond those gathered in the world. It was a very historic moment. It sent a message abroad, signaling the challenges of the Cold War and hopes of peace and the nuclear age. He also was trying to signify the civil rights age. So there was a lot of people trying to be very encouraged by John F. Kennedy and him taking office at that time. He uh, he studied a long time the Lincoln's Gettysburg Address and before giving his speech. So it was very significant on how he gave his speech. It was 1,355 words in length, and it was like Lincoln's famous speech. It was comprised of short passages. Uh, there was a lot uh, that Kennedy was trying to inspire in Americans. He was trying to ensure peace, civil rights. Um, Also, he was still trying to deal with the Cuban rights, uh, the Cold War, and the civil rights. And again, he still had Russia to deal with. So he didn't want. He had the nuclear war on his hands that he was trying to avoid. Still trying to deal with what he didn't want Cuba to become an outcast. So he was dealing with those. So his speech had to entail trying to uphold a nation together but letting the world know that he still wanted peace and still to bring together a broken nation with civil rights still being torn in one nation. So his speech was very powerful in his act of what he was trying to do. So this is what he was trying to do. It was very powerful. Uh, there was a lot of meaningful words and pledges that he was trying to do. Uh, like he said, we observe today not a victory of a party, but celebration of freedom, symbolizing the end as well as the beginning, signifying a renewal as well as a challenge. For I have sworn before you, Almighty God, the solemn oath of forebears prescribed nearly as a century of quarters ago. So he was trying to bring this all to bear at one time. So this is a very powerful. In conclusion, now we triumph Psalms again, and not as a call to bear arms through arms. We need not to call to battle through embattled, but to call to bear burden as long twilightning struggle year out, and rejoicing and a struggle against common enemies. So he's trying to bring this nation together. So it's very important. And we can forge against our enemies global and alliance, north and south, east and west, and we can assure life for all mankind, and we will join again in historic effort. So he was trying to show that we can all come together for one common goal. So this is what I think is a very powerful speech, and it shows that we can sum up and bring people together. Thank you very much.